Hi, everybody. We're live. I have not my Doctor Who, Yvette, and John Whovian Coogan, and we're going to be doing a review on Carnival on Monsters, John Pertwee episode. So we'll have Yvette go first since she likes the dressings.
Hey, everybody. I'd like you to meet my pet Jurassic Derek. He's a bit shy. You've got to encourage him. And the cat's in the way now. Hello, everyone.
I have to say, it's a very detailed model, that puppet, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's very good.
It is very good.
It is, yeah.
Coming to get you, John.
Oh,
And I've got a cat. That and the cat. Jurassic and the cat.
yeah.
Well, I was just about to say I'm safe over here, but as we know, Jurassics can break out of their circuits and get chaotic.
Yeah.
And they grow.
So we're not all safe.
No.
He's a lot better now. He's on camera again. It's been a good
Yeah.
40 years.
Looks like Ginger, your cat's going to take care of that Jurassic.
No. No, the Jurassic's just bit Ginger's ear.
Bet that cat's ear. The cat say, "Okay, what's that?"
Yeah.
Well, I hate to say this. I wanted to welcome Mrs. Doctor Who, Mr. Hyde, and Allison. Hopefully, Allison will be clean tonight. We won't go into the gutter. Well, I can't say that. Who knows might happen. So, okay, Yvette, I had to get that out there. Okay, your review. Oh, wait a minute. I have to get the synopsis. I just now remembered it. That's what happens when you do things live. Okay,
That's
synopsis.
beauty of live.
Yeah. Okay. Doctor and Joe Grant arrive on the SS Bernice, a cargo ship crossing the Indian Ocean. Things are not what they seem. Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
A monster appears in the sea. Events repeat themselves, and the giant hand steals the TARDIS. Giant hand steals the TARDIS. Investigating reveals that they are inside a miniscope, an alien peep show, sporting numbers miniaturized environment, which Showman Vorg and his assistant Shirma have brought to amuse the Populace, don't even know how to say that, of the planet Inner Minor. Okay.
Populous was the word you were looking for,
Populous.
I think. There.
Yeah, some of these names they have, some of these words they have, it's like hard to. Okay, Yvette, you have the all invited attention.
Well, I'm sporting a lockdown version of the Lerman's headdress. Or, like Neil said, it looked like a Jurassic eyes, so it's up to you how you want to take it.
It's a bit of both.
It is one of my favourite John Pertwees because the whole thought of miniaturizing monsters, I mean, they talk about having the most dangerous aliens. And I can hear a duck.
No, I think it's coming back through somebody's speakers. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't have speakers. That's
I have it.
Okay. I think that was me. I have my speaker on. Sorry. No, I can still hear
No,
it.
it's still there.
It's not me
I
then.
don't know. Yeah, it's definitely feedback from something, but I'm not sure whose it is.
I don't have speakers on mine. I just have the headset.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so the miniscope is full of real dangerous monsters like the Drashigs. The Cybermen are featured in the episode, and lots of others. I think the Daleks are actually mentioned, but they're never shown. But the Drashigs are the main protagonists. I mean, of course, we have a Loch Ness monster or dinosaur attacking the boat, which Harry Sullivan plays another part before he actually joins Doctor Who as one of the crew members. Yeah.
Oh, you stole my thing I was going to reveal. Jeez.
Sorry. I love the way anyone on the boat it doesn't see like the floor panels that they can see.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my cat's attacking me. Yeah, so I don't know if that's me causing that noise.
I don't know who it's coming back from. If everybody goes to Avatar, you'll see which one it's coming back from, because you'll see the
Hey, Paul. Hey, Rocket.
It's actually John's.
Michelle,
Sorry,
is it?
Uh-oh, John.
John.
It's actually
I
John.
don't know what
Oh, that's okay.
I don't know what it's feeding back from, because I've only got my laptop. I've got another speaker.
I'm guessing it doesn't normally do it from yours, so I don't know what it is, but it's definitely, you can see after somebody speaks, you can see your avatar flash, so it's coming from yours.
I'm going to move my laptop. I'll go off camera, yeah?
Okay.
Hello, Rocket.
Hey, Rocket, got some pictures for you to caption.
Can you still hear it?
Don't know yet.
Don't know yet.
Oh, no, it doesn't look like it's gone. It looks like it's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure whether we heard it again. No, it's still gone by the look of it.
It's gone.
Shit, I'll sit back in the camera now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't hear any. Back.
I'm sure
Oh,
he will.
Oh, Rocket says, oh, there it goes. That's a
there, it's
fine
back
looking.
again.
He says that's a fine looking dressing.
He's attacking the cat.
Yeah. Little pretty cat.
It could just be the only time that normally happens a lot is you haven't been in your settings, John, and taken off the audio processing, have you?
I haven't done anything like that on the laptop, but 9 times out of 10, I don't normally use it on the laptop.
Hello, Paul.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out and stick it on my tablet and then come back again, okay? So I'll see you in a moment, okay?
Okay.
No worries.
Don't worry.
Well, I'll carry on anyway because I like this story. It's probably up there in my possibly top 5 John Pertwees anyway. Love the idea of the Interminorians and their slave class that they've got on their planet, because it's like this. Those, what do they call them? I can't remember the name they called them now, but the sort of walking around less intelligent ones on Interminora.
The slave.
Yeah, and it was, I say, it's like a slave class they've got, isn't it? So it's like, and they seem like I don't know what it is, but they seem like a bit of a sadistic race. These Interminorians, because they seem to like the idea of punishing these slave class ones. I mean, it was like a everyday conversation when the one of them was shot, and he said, "I hope you're going to dispose of that now." And then they were just like, "Oh yes," and I just thought, yeah, that's a bit sadistic, isn't it? But and wasn't it? This is one of several times that we hear the Doctor mention that he was trying to get to Metabilis 3 as well, because obviously John Pertwee's final story was Metabilis 3 with the Planet of the Spiders, and this is another one where he was aiming for Metabilis 3 but doesn't actually quite get there. And perhaps that's why they brought that back at the end of his run, because eventually he gets to Metabilis 3. But it's the end of the third Doctor then. So, but Yeah, and I just thought that was interesting that they mentioned again that he was trying to get to Metabilis 3. So.
Oh, Yvette, you're underneath Neil.
Ah, she's back where she can be taken care of now. Look.
Yeah.
I don't like being on the bottom. Should put your head on the bottom.
Well, I don't know how to switch that over so where you can't be on the bottom.
I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry
Don't
about
worry,
it.
Michelle.
I know. I'm just having fun. That's all.
But yeah, so and I mean it's the whole idea of when they land on the ship and they don't, the doctor knows something's wrong straight away, but obviously that Joe thinks that it is actually a ship on its way to Bombay, and thinks
it's real.
Yeah, she's convinced it's real, but the doctor seems to know something's wrong straight away, which I don't know what was giving him that idea, apart from the fact that he was fairly certain that he'd headed out into space. But
it was the sound of the boat. Didn't make the right noise.
Oh, did I miss that? Sorry.
He points that out at the beginning when they come out of the TARDIS, and he says, "There's something not right here. It doesn't sound right." And she's like, "Well, they got chickens."
Ah.
She makes a big deal about the chickens in the cages where they land.
Yeah. And she
did, yes, I remember the chicken thing with where the doctor says that this could be the dominant species on this planet. Yeah,
he says hello to them. Doesn't he? Hello. What's that, John?
I didn't say anything, but just a boring factoid, basically, is that chicken scene, the noises of the chickens were provided by Katie Manning. From a childhood, she didn't really do the chicken impersonations, and that is true. And she actually did the voices of the chickens.
I didn't know that.
Oh, by the way, Paul Bryant says, fun fact, Metabilis 3 for Pertwee is what Trenzalore was for Matt Smith.
Yes, absolutely right.
I get that, yeah. As I say, John was off while I was saying it, but it was like one of the many times that he mentions trying to get there, isn't it? And then obviously ends up there in his last story. So
yeah,
but
he got there in he got there in the Green Death as well. Remember the very start of it?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I forgot about that one. Yeah,
Crystal, didn't he?
Yeah, because Metabilis 3 worked out to be really important in the timeline of John Pertwee's Doctor, really, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because in the Carnival Monsters, he got the crystal there, which resurfaced in Planet of the Spiders.
Yes.
So that's important.
Yeah.
His Trenzalore, shall we say?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'd forgot. I'd actually completely. I don't know why, because it's a great scene at the beginning where he'd rather go and defy death than go off with Jo on her ecological campaign. And I completely forgot about that. There we go. That's old age for you, isn't it?
Oh, don't start it. You haven't reached my age, Neil. You haven't reached my age. You can't say that now. You haven't reached my age.
It's having 3 kids that has destroyed my brain cells.
Oh, yeah, but I have a cat who's got to me, so she's like a kid. Anyway, as Yvette so lovingly put, that we see, the guy who plays Harry in Tom Baker's run is on this one, and it kind of surprised me. But we've noticed a lot of the actors in Doctor Who are on other episodes as well. So I think that, as we said, they all reused all the actors get a share in the stories. So I thought this movie was very interesting. The fun part that I liked is where they climbed out and they were inside
the machine,
out of thing. But the funny thing I found out is when they landed, Joe thought that the doctor steered the TARDIS wrong, that it was his mistake. Yeah, she said it. She said, so don't you and that what I found funny is that the doctors didn't want to admit to, but as we know, the TARDIS goes where the doctor needs to go. So not where
the doctor never wants to admit that he's got it wrong, does he? And the TARDIS never ends up where he wants it to go.
Yes, but as I know this is what we saw in New Who with the Doctor's wife, which was the TARDIS. The Doctor's wife says, "I don't take you. Yeah, I take you, but I take you where you need to know, not where you want to go."
Yeah, I mean that was how they explained it later on. Yes, and I suppose in the early days it was a lot of the time it was the Time Lords sending him where he needed to be as well. But it's always been a running thing through Doctor Who, hasn't it? That he never ends up where he's got to go, but he ends up where he needs to go.
Which I kind of find it interesting because it's like if we all end up where we want to go, not where we need to go, then. But I found the story really interesting in how the Thrashings broke out of their little place, out of inside this inside this. And then when they broke out and they were getting out and they used that disintegrator gun to shoot the Thrashings.
The Eradicator.
The Eradicator. So, it was very interesting. And it was interesting to see Ian Martyr in this episode. Kind of shocked me in a way, basically.
Well, you could. He was more. Although he was only a supporting character in that, he was a very good actor, and I'm amazed he never was in a lot more stuff, to be honest. But and I know he died quite young, but he went into writing a lot. As somebody's pointed out in the chat, he wrote quite a few of the Doctor Who novels, or I certainly know he wrote a couple of them anyway. But
The Ark in Space as well.
He wrote that one, but I'm sure he had a hand. I'm sure he wrote a couple of others, didn't he? I'm not certain of that, but I'm sure he's credited on a couple more.
Yeah.
But he was a good actor, and so you can see why they went back to him for the role of Harry, because he's very good. And I think that haven't we discussed this before? I think the only reason that they got rid of him was because he was not your typical companion. So he was too much of the hero to be alongside the Doctor, wasn't he? So
I kind of liked them to keep him. It was very interesting. Yeah. He worked well with Tom Baker and Sarah Jane Smith. The three of them were really good.
Yeah, he did. But as I say, I think it was just he was too much of the well, at that time anyway, the male hero, and that was supposed to be the Doctor. So, and obviously the companions at that time were predominantly good-looking females.
Good-looking females, as someone would say.
I think the thing about Harry was when they sort of conceived their role with Tom Baker, they wanted someone around to sort of do the rough stuff, same way that Chester did for Hartnell, sort of a rough and ready sort of the Doctor might not be able to do. But the Doctor could do lots of stuff with Tom Baker, so they got rid of him. It's very much the same way Liz Shaw, really. She was too clever, so the Doctor didn't need to explain to her and the audience what was going on. So they shuttled her up as well and brought in the less clever Joe Grant. But yeah, he was quite dashing.
Wasn't it John Pertwee that actually said that in an interview, that the companion's role is to be there so the audience know what's going on? Because the Doctor has to explain it to them, and obviously with some of them he didn't have to explain it. So
I quite liked Ian Martyr. I can see he's very like Harry Sullivan. That's a very square-jawed, dashing young man.
Yeah,
very young, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it was. He's that typical sort of not posh, I would say, but sort of stiff upper lip type British. Even playing as Harry Sullivan. Well, but in both roles, the character he plays in this, the lieutenant he was playing in this, and Harry. He was that very well educated. Obviously he's playing a Doctor as Harry, so he's
class military charm that he has.
Quite
charming. Quite a lot of that.
And
I can smell my pasta bake burning. I forgot about that. I'll be back in a moment.
Oh yes.
Okie dokie.
well, as you look, it's like whenever they captured after the doctor was gone, they captured Joe Grant, and she says, "Well, you're gonna, put me in there because until your captain's free." And then they just like looked at her like, "What?" And she
She'd done it before.
Yeah. But the problem is they don't. Every time they doing the same thing over and over again, they don't even remember saying it before.
No.
It's almost like repeat, around in a circle.
Because obviously that's a good scene as well, where the doctor actually says, when she says sonic screwdriver, and he turns around and says, no, that only works on electronic locks, which I wish that somebody had explained to modern Who, because it seems to work on everything. But and he says it only work on electronic locks, and she said, what about skeleton keys? Oh yeah, that would be great if we had some. And of course she pulls them out of her pocket, and she's got the skeleton keys.
Didn't she have that when we watched John Pertwee's episode, the other Autons episode, where she
Terror of the Autons?
Yeah, and she got herself out of their hands tied out behind her back.
Well, I think it was one of the skills that she claimed she got when she first meets the doctor, isn't it? Because when he's saying he needs a scientist, and she reels off this load of skills that she's got, and I'm sure something to do with being able to get out of locks and pick locks or whatever they call it, it was one of the skills that she said she got. Yeah. So it's nice that they threw it in a couple of times for her to be able to use that skill.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to show a pic here. I'm sorry, don't have two monitors, so bear in mind, here's one picture I want to show, and you can comment on that one. That's the drashing I think we have.
That's not.
No, that's the.
That's what monster thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, he called it something, didn't he? Was it a? It was a Paleosaurus, was it? I think he said.
I don't have.
It was a Plesiosaurus.
Plesiosaurus. That's yeah.
Okay. Make caption on that one. I don't have a picture of the thrashings. A good picture.
The drashings.
Thrashings.
Derek.
Drashings.
Yeah. I'd like to have a. Okay, I'll get it right. I'll get it right.
He's not happy you're not calling him Derek.
Okay, Derek. Okay, Derek. Be a good boy.
Well, there you go, Michelle. Just to help you out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And to please Yvette.
Yes, to please Yvette.
There you go. There's the drashings.
Okay. he can make a comment. Rocky Barn can make a comment on that one. I'd like to see if you make a caption on that one. Oh,
well, it looks like the middle one's trying to eat the other one.
Oh, we can say.
No tongue space, social distancing.
The ones that, wait a minute, we're Larry, was it Larry, Moe, and Curly? Whatever. Curly Moe.
Oh, the three Stooges. Actually, that's very good.
He's not happy about this. Yeah. He's not happy about the picture. He's freaking out.
Oh, wait a minute here. Captain, I know you said your mother was a bit of a dragon, but bloody hell. Bloody hell. Love, I didn't expect this.
Just stay there.
Are we... Now, wait a minute. Bloody hell. One Direction have changed.
We all get older.
One Direction. Well, yeah.
You're the only one on the screen now, Derek. So.
Oh, here's the Paul Brent, 50
Shades of Drashings.
There you go.
He doesn't understand that one.
No.
No, is Derek too naive for that?
Yeah.
Well, he is quite old.
Yeah. Okay. Those dressings are like rabbits.
If they get a chance, yeah.
I was going to say they certainly like to eat rabbits. Yeah, they'll eat anything.
Too bad we don't have Dean in the chat. then it really would go to.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, here's this is one I want to show. I want Rocket to come up with the caption. That one.
Aye, aye. Aye, aye, aye.
I hope I had it out long enough for him to see it.
Well, I would immediately go for. Oh no, we're in Big Brother again.
That's a good one, actually.
Oh God! I took a drink as soon as you said that. I had to be careful not to spit it out. Oh,
Big Brother's watching you.
Oh yes.
yeah.
But I mean that's another good thing about this one, the fact that it's all about this sort of mini scope that's basically got loads of different species that this the Lerman has basically kidnapped and put into the machine, and it turns out that the Time Lords had banned them because of the Doctor's influence. So, yeah.
He won it in a card game, didn't he? That's
yes, turns out that Voil did, yeah.
Oh, wait. Let's see. No, wait a minute here. I'm trying to get these caption. Can you smell that, Joe? It's a sign of not making that obvious joke.
I made the obvious one.
You made the obvious joke. You need a groaner for your sound.
Yes, I haven't got a groan sound on my soundboard now, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I thought that I was in. But the thing I like about in that miniscope or whatever, I like how they showed all the way the inside is. You know, all those,
all the working.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did. The only thing I thought was a bit odd, though, that I know he explained it as the field must be covering the entire machine, but you would think that the sort of miniaturization effect was only in the different circuits, but it seems that even when they're out of the circuits and roaming around inside the workings of the machine, they still stay miniaturized. Yeah. Although it'd have been over pretty quick if they'd have suddenly grown big while they were still inside the machine.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Here's another picture. This is the miniscope, but this is when the Doctor's out. Hoping I'm picking these. I picked these pictures that Rocket would have fun with the captions. I mean, that's what I did. That's what I did all just last night was do that. Get ready for today. Kind of like what Neil does. He spends all that time getting prepared and all that stuff.
But I only do one caption one.
Well, I know. How do you do that where you have the word written on there says caption?
Well, that's down to our resident artist, I'm afraid. I don't do that.
Oh, okay. You have anything to say, John?
No, I was going to say that in lots of ways, I looked at the miniscope as being a bit like a television, you know? Because there's lots of little people inside a little box, isn't it? But what would happen if things that were inside your TV got out? Do you know what I mean? Because there's some nasty stuff on television.
Yeah.
That would be scary.
So, so I thought there was a bit of that about it.
Oh, Paul Bryant says, "Oh my God, that jacket! It was the worst in Colin Baker's costume. The jacket, I think the jacket that guy wore.
Yeah, Vogue's costume. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I like his bowler hat. It's cool.
His hat was cool.
I mean, it was. They were obviously supposed to be these sort of showmen, weren't they? Entertainers and things like that. So it was supposed to emphasise the fact that they were very colourful and she was in a leaving not much to the imagination leotard and it's all. It was all about the sort of stage presence, wasn't it, with the colourful costumes?
Yeah, they were very vaudevillian, weren't they? You know, with the dancing and all this and so. But yeah, I don't know. I thought they were pretty good. You know, that girl, Cheryl Hall, girl plays Sherma. She apparently was Wolfie Smith's girlfriend in Citizen Smith. I didn't know that. So I looked.
Oh yes, I looked up a little bit about her. Yeah, and she did star in a couple of how do we put it? Sort of racy films in the 70s.
Yeah.
Wasn't Confessions of a Taxi Driver that sort of film, but along that sort of similar vein?
Yeah, I think there was one called No Sex Please We're British. She was in that.
Was she in the Confessions of a Window Cleaner type thing?
I'm not sure the entire list she was in, but there was certainly along those lines that she was in those sort of slapstick sex films. Anyway,
Oh,
it was.
Rocket made a caption here. I thought I'd looked an idiot on this jacket, but have you seen the other fellows? It's made out of polos.
Yeah. Fruit polos.
Fruit polos.
Yeah.
Mr. Hyde said, did I miss Yvette's pet dressing?
His third outing tonight.
There we go. He's still there.
He's still there.
He's there all night.
Yeah, he's there all night. Okay, did you see the dressing, Mr. Hyde? Yvette's pet? Derek?
I'll tell Michelle you like her. He likes you, Michelle.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, he's a bit like Sooty and only whispers in Yvette's ear.
He's very shy. He hasn't been on camera for a long time.
Rocket Runner, this is what he said to you. Yvette dressing out for anyone.
Yeah, let's not go there.
This is supposed to be clean.
He's not impressed with that.
No. Mr. Hyde says it's cute.
Yeah, he's lovely, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's my little pet.
I have to admit, it's not the first time I've seen him. Yvette showed him on camera before, but it's I've never seen one of those for sale anywhere. So
I got a picture of the aliens, the ones that those. God, did they put blue paint on them or something, or is that gray?
Well, I think it was supposed to be like grey makeup. Yeah, they were the Interminorians, weren't they? They were.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
The one on the left is Michael Wisher, who was Davros.
Yes, Davros.
Yeah.
Which I had forgotten about until somebody mentioned it to me the other day that he played Davros. Which you forget, you sort of don't. Once you hear his voice, you realise that it's Davros, but because he's still, even playing a different character, you can still hear those inflections as Davros when he's talking.
Oh.
But it's he doesn't look. You wouldn't recognise him just from looking at the character.
Oh, Yvette, Mr. Hyde says, Yvette, can I pet your dressing?
You can try. He might bite you. He likes females.
Okay. Anyway, I was hoping Rocket was going to make that comment of those two aliens. It looked like gray face print to me, and then it looked like the part of their skin on top. I mean, it was.
He's made a comment. It just hasn't come up yet.
Oh yes, it finally caption. Let's go and watch Blue Peter. Why is it on? No, it's my granddad. He's got hypothermia.
Oh, very good.
He doesn't make that sound.
I hadn't turned it on tonight. Sorry.
Very good.
Yeah. But like I said, I mean, this I really thought it was entertaining. It was one that I never kind of got bored watching with it. Some episodes I have to force myself to sit down. This one had some excitement in it.
Yeah, it moves very fast, this story, because there's lots of different bits to it. They move from the ship into the machine, and they interact on the outside as well, and it's all very, action-y.
This is the first. When I watched it the first time, I never noticed, but when I rewatched it, this is when I noticed that they had Ian Marter, who played Harry in Tom Baker's run in this one. I didn't notice it at first, but when I rewatched it, I caught it. I'm like, whoa, he looks familiar. That voice sounds familiar. So it's unmistakable. let's put it this way: when you watch it for the first time, you don't catch all those little
No.
things, and then when you watch it a second time, you catch these things that you missed that you didn't really catch on the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I've watched Carnival of the Monsters, and I rewatched as much as I could of it today. And it's a good story. It's one you can comfortably watch again, and some good cliffhangers. I like the fact that obviously they don't realise they're inside a machine to start with, and then you get the big hand come in and pinch the TARDIS at the end of the first one.
Oh my!
Yeah, and
and this record says when my granddad died, he passed just sat down in a chair, and that was it. He really peacefully scared that out of the dentist, mind you. Oh, I don't want. Frog is starting to run with things.
Picked up on my actiony word. I'm so sorry. My brain is dead, guys.
Oh no!
I was having trouble speaking earlier with Neil. I couldn't even think of a word. So yes, I'm a bit worn down.
You're worn down?
She's tired.
I am tired.
No.
Yeah.
Busy day today? Oh, you need a blanket and a pillow. I still like that little thing. It looks colored. Doesn't look like Thrashing's eyes. I like the color of their outfits. Yellow, blues, greens.
Well, that's what that's supposed to be. But in lockdown, it's pipe cleaners. Best I could come up with.
Hey. Yeah.
And let's not forget as well, this is the first time that the Doctor's got use of his TARDIS properly, because after the 3 Doctors and getting his dematerialization circuit back and all the secrets of the TARDIS back in his head, and this is the first place they end up after using his TARDIS again.
Oh my God, Rocket, your brain being dead is no excuse, Yvette. It has never stood in my way. I don't even have one. No. Coming up with those comments, I would have to agree, Rocket.
Yeah. What you
I'm
say
going
is
to be
very
right back. I've got to open the door. It's got hot in here.
Oh no.
No worries. What were you going to say, John? Sorry.
What you said is very true, Neil. And in some ways, you would say that this is really the very first sort of pure Pertwee Doctor Who, because ever since he came in, he's always had units.
Yeah.
He's had the TARDIS. He's gone up in the TARDIS, but always under the control of the Time Lords, like Colony in Space and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So quite sort of breaking for that. Barry Letts, who actually sort of he directed this as well, producing it.
Yeah.
When he came in originally, he didn't like the idea of an Earthbound Doctor at all. For him, Doctor Who was all about space travel, other worlds. It wasn't about being created mass, being stuck on Earth, sorting things out.
Well, I think this is some of the. I think this is some of the problems that people are having with the current series as well, because the majority of that last series was set on Earth.
Yeah.
And although I don't know what made them make the decision to strand the Doctor on Earth when he became the 3rd Doctor, but it clearly didn't work, and they quite quickly, after the first series, they quite quickly realised, even though he's still been punished, they need ways of making him go off to different places. So, as John's just said, you have the ones where the Time Lords send him off to solve some problem somewhere, and then eventually, on the 10th anniversary, they give him the powers of the TARDIS back. And it makes I always thought, if he's now got the power of the TARDIS back, why did he still stay earthbound with UNIT for the next sort of 2 seasons? But
emotional attachment, I would assume, really, because you got really well like that. So
but no, I mean, I'm assuming they had a good reason for deciding that they were going to limit him to the Earth for this Doctor, but it wasn't quite the same being stranded on. I mean, don't get me wrong, you had couple of good stories in his first series. I mean, Inferno is still a great series. Oh,
incredible.
I've just been brought a cup of tea. Look at that.
Oh my God, cup of tea.
Where's mine?
Unfortunately, I can't fit one down the camera. I could try, but
no, I don't think you could. I don't think you could.
But yeah, so he was. It was nice to see him be able to go off where he needs to go and be the Doctor, as John's pointed out, because he'd always had to back up a unit before, had he? So
yeah,
I think he got used to it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
I was going to say, like, towards the end of Doctor Who got very sort of militarized, didn't it? You had the
it did, yeah.
And then you had the Invasion, where UNIT first appeared. And then you had the War Games, which was virtually all militarized. And then it was very sort of similar to the first season and a half of Pertwee's reign. But I think that was the vogue in British drama and TV anyway. That's when Callan, the Sweeney, that sort of things were all coming out. Reflected. But yeah.
I liked some of the episodes that were where he was earthbound because they were interesting.
Yeah, there was. I mean, like I said, there were some good stories. I mean, Inferno was a brilliant story, and
Green Jacket was fantastic as well.
And they did have some where they brought aliens to Earth, so you were sort of getting the balance, but it was still not the same as him going off and exploring other planets. So. You know, it's all about. I mean, we discussed this the other day about what your favourite element of what made. I can't remember what stream we were on, but we were asking what was the thing that made them fall in love with Doctor Who, and it's the fact it's the TARDIS, isn't it? It's because you can go anywhere and do anything, but when you limit it to being stuck on Earth, which, like I said, seems to be what they're doing currently. Yeah, it doesn't work quite the same.
It really limits what you can do with the stories as well, because we're stuck on Earth.
Yeah.
When you got either Mars Santa stories or alien invasion stories, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Sea Devils.
Pardon?
The Sea Devils.
I mean, that was a good idea to introduce not aliens as such, but characters like the Silurians and the Sea Devils, because that's like bringing that. Yeah, that's like bringing an alien into it that's not quite an alien, if you know what I mean. But they were good. Like I said, there were some good stories, but I think they were starting to realise that people wanted to see him flying off among the planets and the stars, and that's why eventually, after the 10th anniversary, they decided to forgive him and give him the use of his TARDIS again.
Rocket Runners, everything has been dubbed down. Most shows wouldn't even tax a lobotomized wombat these days.
No, well,
very true. Very true.
Seeing it that way.
It's unfortunate, but it's true, and that's the difference between classic Who and modern Who, because you have to. People seem to be more interested. I mean, Chris Chibnall obviously has gone down the route of, well, let's make this look as spectacular as we possibly can. But that's not what Doctor Who's always been about. It's not been about make it look spectacular. It's been about make it a good story. Yeah. And that's something that's sadly lacking in the current era. It wasn't too bad in Russell T Davies' era. It wasn't too bad in Stephen Moffat's sometimes. But certainly in the Chris Chibnall era, it's just all about how good it looks. I mean, he was jumping up and down about how it's now filmed in 4K and all this, you know, and it's all this really good looking program. But that doesn't go very far
for Doctor Who, I think.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Allison has this right here. Random question, please. Was Doctor Who the first TV series to embrace the concept of time travel? I believe H.G. Wells' Time Machine was the first film/movie. Thanks.
I can think of one definitely that did it before Doctor Who, and that's the Time Tunnel.
Yep.
Whether there's any others, I'm not sure.
List, didn't we? On the sci-fi list.
We did, but I can't remember them all off the top of my head.
Probably pull it up. Hang on.
I'm kind of not sure over here in America.
I'm not sure when the time tunnel was actually out and whether it was before Doctor Who or
I
not.
can give you the dates.
I
Just
remember
hang on.
Hold on.
I remember the time tunnel. It's actually on the Sci-Fi Channel, Neil. And I remember as a kid because I used to love. Do you remember as they were going down the tunnel, the very start floating? I used to love that bit, and then they used to fall out, didn't they, of the tunnel?
Yeah.
But it was color. James Darren was in it, but it was definitely color.
I can't.
Right.
I can't say
Like
this
the
name.
mid-60s,
That record
possibly.
put this. I can't say this name. SZIRIUSZ 1942 was the first film on record to feature a time machine. Don't ask me how I say that name.
But that's film. Can anybody remember the first TV series? That's the thing.
Anybody?
It's opening. I've got it open nearly. Here we go. Right. Hang on.
By the
TV
way,
shows.
Rocket Runner says, doesn't Google make you seem intelligent?
Absolutely. Google is the new brain.
Okay.
Yeah, the time tunnel, guys, was 1966 to 1967.
Ah, right. So that was after Doctor Who started. So
These are sci-fi time travel shows. Then we had Time Slip, which.
But was there anything before that? Because Alison's question was Doctor Who the first.
Well, there was one really old one, but we took it off the list because it was so unknown. We never saw it, any of us.
What was that?
If we've taken it, I can't remember.
We took it off the list.
The only reason Yvette basically did some research on this because at some point we are planning on doing a time travel sci-fi stream. So we were going to talk about sort of any TV shows and films that have involved time travel. But it's one of those things where you try and filter out things that possibly people have never heard of. So the oldest ones might actually not be on the list she's got left now.
We thinned it down a bit. I mean, there was a Yankee in, what is it, Neil? Connecticut.
Well, this is what I was going to say about Rocket's comment about the first movie to feature a time machine. Yes, it probably was the one to feature a time machine, but I think the earliest movie to actually involve time travel of some kind was a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
Yeah, that's right.
Because obviously the Connecticut Yankee goes back to King Arthur's Court. And there were two versions of that, one in 1921 and one in 1931, if I remember rightly. Who was in them? I'm not sure.
In the 1930s, the original one of that. I remember the dates because I was like gobsmacked at how old it was.
No, if you remember, we found out there was one in 1921, but it was a silent movie.
That's right.
Oh, Paul Brand came up, a Connecticut Yankee in London.
In London?
Yeah, that's what he just said.
No,
I've not even heard. See, I've not heard of that. So.
Rocket's asking when we're doing it. It'll be a Saturday night, Rocket, but we haven't decided when we're going to bring the sci-fi back yet.
Yeah, so it will be one of the sci-fi ones. But I mean, as I say, it's a very interesting question that Alison asked, and I'm not sure I know the answer without doing some research. But it's looking like that possibly Doctor Who could have been the first TV series that included a time machine and time travel.
That we could remember, that we know.
Yeah.
Because other ones were probably too old for us to ever know about.
Well, yeah.
Was it a completely new idea for Sidney Newman then? I don't know. It's quite an innovative idea if it was him. He worked on television a lot, didn't he? So
yeah, I mean,
he had done a lot of TV.
Oh dear!
Oh God!
No!
Oh, God. It's okay. I had to put that there.
No.
But
I mean, the movies help, like the Time Machine and things like that. That's what obviously gave them ideas.
Yes, there would definitely have been like movies out for. Well, the Time Machine I think was the first one to for people that people would recognise anyway. I mean, I know Rocket's mentioned that one, but I've never heard of that one. So
well, there's something you've never heard about that somebody in the chat knows.
Well, yeah. I certainly don't profess to be a wealth of knowledge on everything time travel, but it was. I mean, The Time Machine, I think, is the most well-known movie, which was 1960, and so only 3 years before Doctor Who. So perhaps that had some bearing on
Influence
Sidney Newman's idea for Doctor Who. I don't know.
Making the TARDIS able to move in space and time made it
Yes.
workier than the Time Machine.
Yeah,
That was always static in no single place. I mean, that was the whole concept of him moving through time. He got buried, then revealed again, and buried again. You know, it's just it's an amazing story.
Here's
In which show was H.G. Wells a woman? Well, as far as I know, he's never been a woman, but because it's based on a real character, but unless it's one of Rocky's jokes.
Well, let's just say, you could say, well, just the way Doctor Who's lately gone is the Doctor's a woman. So,
okay. I mean, it probably won't be long before somebody.
He's googling things at the moment. Oh, Warehouse 13. You're right, Rocket. You are right. Bravo. I'd forgotten about Warehouse 13.
I actually haven't seen that, to my disgust, because I've heard it's quite good and I haven't seen that.
It's a bit scary. It's a bit scary. Yes, it is.
Brilliant. I love the thought of gadgets having weird properties and being stored in a warehouse. Absolutely brilliant.
Right?
I mean, it's just one I've heard a lot of people talk about, and it's not one I've ever got around to watching. So,
I've seen it a few times, and I've got it on DVD, the whole set. Absolutely brilliant.
Enough
it covers everything.
Enough with the goat jokes, please.
Okay, apparently Lizzie has had a look, and Doctor Who was the first TV show to show time travel.
There we go.
So there we go. So not only is it the longest running science fiction program, it was actually the first TV show to incorporate time travel as well. There you go.
Thank you, Liz.
I'm not surprised because obviously I wasn't around in 1963, but I've looked up a lot of stuff and I don't remember another TV show before that had got a similar theme because I'd have probably tried to watch it.
I was around then too, so. Your wife takes a bow. Liz takes a bow.
She likes being right.
Well, that's a woman for you. They always want to be right.
We are right.
I'm not getting involved in that argument because I'll probably get the cup of tea thrown at me. So.
We don't want you to sleep on the floor. You can't fit on the couch.
No, I don't want to sleep on the floor.
No.
Well, because then the dogs will bar you.
You're joking? The dog will end up on the bed where I'm supposed to be, probably.
If he had it.
Right in place.
Yeah. But
she tries that anyway. If Liz goes up to bed before me and I go up late, the dog's already in my spot and I have to get rid of her.
But I like your dressing, Yvette. I like Derek. He's very good. But I don't think he likes the cat. I don't think he likes the cat.
He doesn't.
No.
He's already attacked his ear. Now asleep on the chair down here.
Well, as Drashiks are supposed to be these sort of things that will literally eat anything, then he's probably figuring out the best way to eat him.
Oh, I didn't know you had the fight in the cat for the bed.
No, they're usually lying where I'm supposed to be on the bed when I go up to bed, and they soon get moved.
Attacking Yvette.
Oh, that hurt.
Yeah. Don't eat anything.
Derek.
It's a cross between sooty and emu.
Yeah.
Sorry, that hurt.
But like I said, this is a good story. This is like right after he got forgiven and they allowed him to have a TARDIS time travel.
Yeah. And he also, a good thing as well, it shows off not just John Pertwee, but the Doctor's character of being, when he gets out of the machine and he's this very stern, authoritarian towards the Interminorians and the Lumens, is it? Lumens? Yeah, Lumens. Because of the fact that they're using this banned machine, and he was part of that, so he's taken it upon himself to express his authority on them, basically.
What did they call the humans? I forget the name they called them.
Oh, yeah, yes, yeah.
What was the name? The Tellurians. Tellurians? Okay.
Tellurians.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Basically, anybody not from Earth doesn't call us humans or Earthlings. So, yeah.
That was kind of shocking when I heard that. I was like, wait a minute, they're humans. They're not that name.
But if you think about it logically, Michelle, that humans is a word that humans have come up with. So another species from another world wouldn't necessarily use the same one, would it?
No.
Earthlings.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought, well, there was two plots in this story, essentially. There was the plot with the miniscope. There's also the plot of this guy. Was it Calic, that guy? He was planning to overthrow his brother. So there was two plots running at one time. And his name was saying, Doctor yelling at everyone as soon as you go to the scope. That's very much of Pertwee's sort of time, really, because he was always like clashing with authority. And the Interminorians were obviously very bureaucratic, weren't they? So that's just another example.
There was this political story going on Interminor, wasn't there? It's about, they wanted to overthrow this president who was trying to open up their. They literally came across as a bit xenophobic, didn't they? They didn't like any other.
They didn't like.
Yeah, they certainly weren't tolerant of other species, and then this new president is trying to let other species arrive on the planet, and basically
give the slave race extra days or hours off, wasn't it, as well?
Well, yes, yeah.
But you saw how those aliens with that miniscope, whatever, they came in on a cargo ship, and they were crawling out. It's like you could tell. It's like the woman's like that the female one is like didn't like it because it was so cramped that they were in there.
Yeah, I think that was basically because it was supposed to be the cheapest way to travel there, because they'd been invited, hadn't they? They were supposed to be going there, but it was basically the cheapest way to get there was on a cargo ship.
Yeah.
Interminor had been closed up for years. The reason they shut up was a space plague or something a couple of hundred years before that.
Yes, I remember them saying that, yeah.
This President Zorb or whatever his name was, or Zarg or whatever his name was, he started to let people back in, but they were naturally sort of suspicious of it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty totalitarian society. You had two classes. You had the officials, and then you had the functionaries, they were called, or?
Yeah, functionaries.
That's it. That was what I was trying to think of, what they called that slave class, yeah.
Hey, Yvette, you say you've watched, you know about where her 13 is. Rocket wants to know.
I don't know, Rocket. Surprise me. My brain's dead, remember.
Yeah, she's having a brain fart. I had to cover with
They had a superiority complex as well, didn't they? They thought they were better than everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, when the Doctor was doing his bit of a lecture to them, they were sort of like, why is this person saying these sort of things to us, and why are we allowing him to say these things to us?
Oh, he's got germs. He's got germs. We need to send him to get decontaminate whatever place, and then set back on like a shadow type, I think. Be quarantined is what it is. Oh my God, it sounds like what we're being done. Quarantine.
Well, yeah.
Oh, Eureka! Yes, of course. Thank you, Rocket. I had forgotten that.
Oh, Paul Bryant says, so Doctor Who tackled immigration reform.
Well, yeah. But this
Or
was the
rather,
thing. I mean,
non-immigrant
this is the
immigration.
this is the argument that we have with people now, isn't it? Because of saying
Yeah.
that Doctor Who has always tackled issues. Doctor Who has always incorporated issues into stories, but they weren't rammed down your throat like they are now.
No.
It was part
and-
of the actual story, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
I agree with you, Neil. It was like Sidley tackled, but it wasn't thrown at you. They tackled the issue, but they did it in such a soft way of doing it. I don't know how you would describe.
Well, it was always done in a way that if you realised what they were doing, you could see it was there, and you sort of appreciate that because it's been included in a story, but it doesn't distract from the sci-fi story that's going on.
No, it doesn't.
Whereas Chibnall just basically writes a political issue, and that's all you're seeing on screen. You're not seeing anything else. Rosa was a classic example of that because the sci-fi element of that was dismissed in about 5 minutes, I think.
Rocket Runner said this in the past. Politics was an element of the story, not it is the story. True.
Yeah, exactly.
People talk more about the issues raised in the story than the actual story itself, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe the drama, the content of the story that's actually there. You're not supposed to talk about the politics and this and that in it, and that's the whole problem with Who at the moment.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can someone read Paul Bryan's, because some words I can't.
Sure.
Allegory.
Classic Who used allegory to address social issues. Allegory is a tool that Chibs can't use.
Yeah, and but pretty much basically what we're saying now. It's the story involved an issue, which is but now Chibs.
Yeah.
Well, I can't really come up with a sentence to say that anything good about Chibs, to be honest. But it's but he can't. It's all well and good to include an issue in a story. That's great, because media of any kind is a good way of getting that across. But you have to make it entertaining. You have to make it so that there is that you take something else away from it other than just the political issue or the whatever issue that they're trying to put across.
Yeah, but it's not done in such a general way in this era. It's just like thrown at us, pushed at us. It's like
Slapped in the face with a fish.
Yes. Where's your fish, Yvette? Where's your fish?
I'll find him in a minute.
Okay, but I mean, it's like
She sent one of them to Dean.
yeah, but in a classic Who, it was Voil. Well, Paul Bryan says all these writers now also preach to us. That's a no. It's true. They do preach like certain issues. I did not watch the episode called Rosa, but from what I've heard about it, it's like it's a slap in the face of the Americans. What Rosa was like, in the historical point of Rosa.
Well, I mean, we've discussed this before, and I mean, it wasn't even historically accurate anyway.
Oh.
The Rosa episode, it wasn't. There were quite a lot of points in it that were not accurate, but that's fair enough. There is always a bit of poetic license when you're making a dramatization of something, but when you've got a sci-fi show, there should be a sci-fi element, and the sci-fi element in Rosa was this time traveler that was easily dismissed in about 5 or 10 minutes of the episode, and
a bad white man.
Well, yeah, basically a bad white man, and the whole thing is then just turned into this shove down your throat issue about the fish.
There's her fish. He's limpy.
Looks like a carrot.
It's a goldfish.
It's a
Yeah.
goldfish.
It's a very long goldfish. You sure it's a fish? It's a weird shape.
Look, Rocket said there is a poetic license, and then it's here to take that out of you.
Well, yeah. I mean, and that's what. Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
even on Doctors 9 through 12, they had some, more issues that deal with political and some of it, but they didn't ram. Like, take for instance, Fires of Pompeii. It wasn't rammed down your throat. It was perfectly, really accurate to say, if when the doctor says it is a fixed point in time, I can't stop this. He couldn't go and save the people because it was something and it wasn't pushed on us. And there's a lot of issues that were in the New Who before this monstrosity came up, and it wasn't shoved down our throats like this doctor.
Well, I mean
That's
yeah.
my. Paul Burt says Chip took the piss with the smoke monsters.
The dishcloth monsters were even worse.
Well, I don't think there's been a decent. We haven't got. Well, we've got New Who monsters coming up on our streaming at some point, and
that would be.
I don't think.
The talking frog was one of the worst.
Oh God!
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Don't go with the 13th monster. Stop at the 12th Doctor.
I'd love to, but those are probably some of the funniest ones, to be honest. But
okay.
Derek's more realistic than the frog.
Yeah. Derek.
Absolutely, because Derek's an alien creature that doesn't exist, so it can look like anything you want it to. But when you've got a frog that's supposed to be a frog, at least make it look like a frog.
Yeah,
there was too many frogs in that sentence, but that if you can't make a CGI frog look like a frog, then you may as well give up now, haven't you?
Oh, by the way, Paul Bryant says Chips took the piss with the talking frog.
Yeah, he did.
He sure did. He sure did.
Funny.
Yeah. But like I said, is this one like? It's like I really like in the classic Doctor Who. I wish New Who was like in like 3 or 4 or 5 parts instead of just one whole go. Because I was sitting down there watching Stolen Earth and Turn Left. Is you have to sit down there and you don't, it's all one shot. It's like, wait a minute here. It kind of. When it broke into pieces, the New Who, I mean, I'm not New Who Classic. See, that's what happens when you do live stream. Your brain goes. But when it's broken up in parts, it gives the characters to develop more. It's like when it's all in one, you don't see character development.
Well, they've never been out. I mean, because of the fact that New Who is now only. Sorry, John. Sorry.
Go ahead, Mick. Go ahead.
I say the problem with New Who is obviously they're trying to cram everything into a 45-minute episode when you had at least 4 25-minute episodes to get the story across in Classic Who. So that you don't have time to develop the characters in 45 minutes. And the odd occasion when there has been a 2-parter, that most of the 2-parters have been better, most of them.
What about you got a 3-parter with Turn Left, Stolen Earth, because Turn Left falls right into Stolen Earth.
I mean, that needed 3 parts, I think, because if you'd have tried to cram all that into one story, into one 45-minute episode...
You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. No. Oh, Rocket says, too many frogs, I told you. Oh, God.
Well, there you go.
Well, that's a lot better than our joke last stream I did.
Well, yeah, and I think that, I mean, this is something that is missing from New Who as well, because you've got, like I said earlier, you had some fairly decent cliffhangers in this one. You've got the hand taking the TARDIS, and then the Drashik,
Yeah.
The third one was a bit weaker. I mean, it seemed to be the cliffhanger was just the fact that the Doctor had managed to get out of the machine, which I thought was a bit odd. But
That was actually
That show was dying.
say again, John.
That was actually a re-edit.
Oh, was
The
it?
Doctor was supposed to be seen falling down a shaft inside the miniscope.
No, that was.
They shifted
Oh,
it
that's
so
right. Yeah.
that he appeared coming out of the scope, really. I think they did a lot of things like that. If you remember Death to the Daleks, the famous, I think it's episode 3, where they have the sort of the bit of lino on the floor, the mat, the trap, and it just stops there. Remember when they're in the Exelon City?
Oh yes, yeah. I think when we were talking about that one, we said that was probably the weakest cliffhanger I've ever seen. But yeah,
I was talking.
A lot of things, yeah.
I was talking to a friend of mine, real life friend. Me and her talked. She watched Doctor Who. And she started with the, Tom Baker one, and I was mentioning about New Who she doing the Purse. Just watched one episode and went to the next Saturday for the next one. She said, "No, I can't handle going on cliffhanger. I need to watch it all." I'm like, "Okay, you mean to tell me you can't hang there, holding in the excitement of what's going to come next, the next Saturday the show episode, shows, because I would like to hang on the edge and say, okay, what's going to happen next, and then have the next episode like the next Saturday, the next time it showed. I'd like to have that hanging there, but she liked to have it all in one go.
yeah.
Which I don't understand.
Well, I mean, I suppose it's each to your own, really. But I think that the cliffhangers and the spreading it out over 25 episodes is a much better format, because one, you're not getting bored over the episode. So it's 25 minutes. It's short. It's
Tension
you're
span.
getting that. Yeah, it's like acts in a play, isn't it? You're getting that first act, and then you're getting the second act, third act, and whatever.
Yeah,
and,
you get
and then
character
you're getting,
development as well.
and you're getting, you've got time to develop the characters, because you're talking sort of an hour and 40 minutes
Minimum,
instead of
yeah.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's
You get to know everyone in the story.
it's a much better format. But the trouble is, the only thing on TV now that is that sort of format are either soap operas or sitcoms.
Yeah.
Everything else has gone to this sort of 45 minutes, 50 minutes format.
And it,
Which now go on.
I keep saying it, but what it is it's like probably the Americans' attention span, or this era of people around in this day and age like to have it all in one go, that they can't handle the part, like parts like a 4-parter or 5-parter. They like to have it all in one go. They want all find out what happens all in one shot. And it's like you have to sit there and like, okay, I can understand. There's times I've sat there and watched good episodes of New Who, but half the times I have to get up and walk away, take a break from it, and then come back to it, because all in one go is kind of hard. But whenever you have it on DVD or like a streaming service where you could stop and it's like come back to it again. But if it's on TV, it's like all in one. If you walk away, you miss part of it. You come back and you missed all before what you see. When you come back. So I like it with the but I would love to see it in parts again. I would love to see that, because it kind of makes you hang to basically to the next episode. That's why I like watching the classic parts, because it's like, okay, I'll watch like 1 or 2 parts of it, get up, walk around, and then later come back and start back up and get the rest of it instead of watching it all in one go.
I mean, when I was a kid, obviously, you always we've talked about this before. It always made you talk about the episodes after you'd get your first part, you'd have the cliffhanger. Even if you realised that nothing's ever going to happen to the Doctor, you still talked about it, and it was like, I wonder how he gets out of this one. That was more. That was more the, how is he going to get out of this situation and
back to it.
Yeah, and you couldn't wait for next week's.
Yeah,
and you get to use your imagination. Figure, okay, he's gonna do this now, this, and then whenever you see the episode, then you find out the answer how he got out of it.
Yeah.
But see, I
think it's just.
Go ahead, John.
So I was going to say the two shows reflect the times they were made in, basically. When Classic Who was about, there was no other form of media to compete with it, really. Mm-hmm. So an episode of nature was ideal for the sort of time, really. Now with social media, with the internet and stuff, everything's bite-sized. You do get everything in one go. People are more into YouTube and this and that. The average YouTube video is probably 20, 25 minutes tops.
Right,
yeah. People are used to watching things in small chunks, really. So something like a serial, an hour long at a time, would have hold that many people's attention. Broadchurch was a serial, and it sort of kept people going, really, but there's only one story, I suppose, really. But I can't see why something with that.
Yeah.
I never watched Broadchurch, but it was on BBC American. I just caught a part of it. I'm like, no. It just, when I catch a first few, in the beginning of a show, I can tell whether or not I'm going to like it or not. I just need a little bit. And if it grabs my attention, that first bit of it, you got me hooked.
So it was a bit slow. I did watch all 3 series of it, but the last series was dire. The first one was quite good. It was a very good story, but it, as John said, it was one story, so it kind of followed on each week. You wanted to see how it was progressing, more than cliffhangers. But it certainly, as a mini-series, it worked.
Oh,
the first season, anyway.
But anybody heard of Emmerdale?
Yeah, of course we have.
Emmerdale. We've heard of that over in the UK. It used to be called Emmerdale Farm.
It's the TV equivalent of hemorrhoids.
Or plane crashes.
It is now.
How many plane crashes have they had there?
It is. I used to watch Emmerdale Farm back in the days of Annie Sugden, so it was good then.
Okay. Ellison said, I think I heard John say that TV show Time Tunnel was being repeated on the Sci-Fi Channel. Can I ask, is that a UK Sky Sci-Fi Channel? As I like to watch some episodes.
Yeah.
Apology if I misread.
It's a UK Sky Channel. Yeah, I can actually tell you now, actually. But yeah. Yeah, because I had a look. It's on every night, I think, the Time Tunnel. I don't know, but I'll tell you in a second. But yeah. Sorry, talk away there. Go ahead.
Yeah. I thought I'd heard that it was being shown. Well, Sci-Fi tends to show quite a lot of the old ones now.
On Virgin as well, Alison, if that's any help to you.
Liz says yes, it's on the UK Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, Liz has beat you to it, John. She's looked it up. She sat away there tapping. You can't even see her fingers going on that keyboard over in the corner.
That's good for classic sci-fi. It is pretty good.
Yeah.
The Time Tunnel's
I'm not too sure about Blue Book and stuff like that, but there's a lot of good stuff on it.
Oh no, Paul Brent says Liz for sure. Neil and I can have a drink at the pub. I don't know where that came from. And that was Paul.
Well, as Paul's in Egypt at the minute, I think that's a bit difficult, but unless he's planning on coming to the UK.
He is.
Oh, right. Okay. I've not been watching the conversation.
Asking if it's channel 114. I don't know what it is on Sky. We got.
Do you know what channel Sci-Fi is on Sky? Come on, stop tapping away on your keyboard. Come on, let's find out.
It's different on Virgin now.
Don't throw anything at me. Don't throw.
I think that's the reason why I like a classic Who. New Who's okay. They have some good episodes that do keep you hanging, that get your excitement. But with the classic Who, I like because you can watch maybe 1 or 2 parts, stop, and come back and get like the last maybe 2 or 3 parts, and you didn't miss the beginning of it. You know, you could watch.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Another
I
thing
mean, there was. Sorry, John. Go on.
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Whoever.
No, I was just. All I was going to say was I remember a lot of the old sci-fi shows being shown on a Sunday in the UK years ago. You used to get things like Lost in Space and Land of the Giants and things like that. And I think you can get all those on the Sci-Fi Channel now, can't you?
Most of them, yeah, I think so.
Oh, I heard Blue Bonnet watch Space 1999.
Yes, she is at the moment. She's catching up with it.
It's really good. The Eagle Transporters are really cool little sort of.
They are.
Oh yeah. I'm gutted. I had 2 when I was a kid, and I'm gutted I didn't keep them. I don't know what happened to them, to be honest.
Hey Neil, my brother had what's this in Star Wars, the first movie that Luke flew whenever they were attacking
The X-Wing.
The X-Wing, yeah. My brother had a model X-Wing.
Oh, don't get me started on the Star Wars stuff. I had a bloody room full of it.
No, I remember that, but I think the whole thing is it's no longer probably was destroyed.
I remember getting I got to a certain age, and I remember my mother coming to me one day and saying, "You don't play with any of these now." And I'm just thinking, "Well, no, I don't. But why?" And she was just like, "Well, your cousin's had a little boy, and he's old enough to start playing with these things now. So can you donate some of your things to her?" And I'm like,
"Oh no, now they're collector's items."
Well, that was what I was thinking. I wanted to just store them in a cupboard somewhere, and then they might be around for a long time. But no, I ended up giving most of my stuff to a family member.
I've got the $6 million man in his space shuttle still.
I
Really?
I had was it? Oh, I had Bionic Woman, but basically, I don't think she's got some parts missing, and I think my hair looked really. I used to cut my Barbie's hair, so I don't know if I did hers or not. The butcher job.
What did the Bionic Woman doll do? Did it do anything, Michelle?
Oh, it's just nothing really special. Just you could take
the 6 million.
I remember the 6.
Man, you had to crank his arm, and you see through his red eye. But heavy stuff.
Yeah, it was a magnifying glass.
Didn't he have like a false piece of skin you could roll back on his arm to see all the electronics as well under his?
You could take them out and swap them, and also there was a button on the back of him, and his arm used to raise up.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I mean I had all that. So I remember I had the $6 million man. I had a couple of action men that did similar things. There was an action man with eagle eyes. You could move his eyes from side to side with a little switch on the back of his head. Yeah. But
Cindy.
Wind up. I used to have that. You put him in, you wind him up, and he used to shoot out. Do you remember that Evil Knievel?
Evil Knievel,
It was like a red launcher that you wound up, wasn't it? And then he shot out. Yeah, I remember that.
It was all right.
Yeah.
What happened? We started talking about Doctor Who, monsters, and look, we divulged into some other stuff.
The thing is that you do diversify into things like this. I mean, we've got coming up. We're planning on doing a merchandise stream about Doctor Who toys. So it's.
I'd like to get some Doctor Who little figurines.
Oh God, I've got loads of them.
I want the Matt Smith. I wonder if they make a Matt Smith band. I could just go to bed with Matt Smith and I can say he went to bed with me.
Well, yes, I'm sure. I'm sure there are plenty of them that you could do that with, Michelle. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have to be good because you know how we say no hanky panky in the TARDIS, right? No hanky panky in the TARDIS. No, we don't want romance with the Doctor and his companions.
No, it wasn't something I ever agreed with, but it's the way of everything now, isn't it?
Okay, anyway, this picture I showed earlier, I want to know anybody can Rocket or anybody else can. I would like this is caption type contest. This one right here, I'm going to leave it on for a while. Okay, I want people to caption Rock and Runner Camp. I want others to caption as well. It's like a caption, my caption contest. I don't have that thing as a caption contest, but.
Well, I was just going to say that's what I see in the mirror every morning until I've had a cup of tea. But
you said. Yeah, but Rock Runner, no. But this is for you. Could come up with a different one. This is for everybody. This is a caption for anybody who wants to come up with a caption. But you came up with a good one. Neil, see, you told me you couldn't.
I'm not usually good at captions now, but that one just jumped into my head because that is an image that greets me in the mirror every morning before I've had a cup of tea and a cigarette and actually realised I'm on planet Earth.
Okay, caption.
Give me a minute.
Okay, Mr. High came up with this. Says, "Hey Doc, does this tooth look infected?"
Very good.
Okay. Paul Bryant? Caption, Chips sitting in the writer's room.
Very good, very good.
Hey, John, you want her to come up while Yvette's thinking?
I'm thinking too, Michelle. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Well, Derek's come up with one.
Okay, what did Derek come up with?
He wants to know if that's his cousin.
You should be a puppeteer, Yvette.
Okay, for Rocky, you can come up with another caption. Doesn't really matter how many times you caption it, you can come up with another one. Anybody else? Any tickets? We have Mr. High's podcast, caption Paul Bryant. We need others to come up with the caption. This is a contest. Let's see who can come up with the best one. Oh, geez. If Dean was here, it would be really take a turn.
Yeah. He's done similar ones for those sort of pictures before, I think.
Yeah, but the problem is him and Rocket, they go with it.
They certainly do.
They certainly do. I had to come up with, like I said, I tried to do 2 monitors, but it was on my laptop, but I don't think that would do. My boyfriend does not know how to hook it up to where you can switch to the second screen share, the second monitor.
I was going to say, Mr. Hyde's about to come up with another one.
Uh-oh.
He has come up with another one.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Okay, Rocket came up with one, says...
Mr. Hyde's done one first as well.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll do Mr. Hyde's first. He says, Chip's peeking around the corner to see what he can steal for next season. That's good. Rocket Runner with his caption says, well, I suppose it's change. Oh God!
Trust Rocket.
He's running with the damn goat thing. He's running with the goat, even though I told him no goats. No goats were harmed in this. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Anybody else? 8 takers. We only have 3 people in chat. We need some more takers. I'm gonna give it. I'd like to have more than just 3 people do captions. Make it a little bit difficult for us to choose which one's good. I may have Yvette do that.
No.
Well, sometimes you have to just go with what you've got, Yvette. We've had weeks where it's just been Vid and Rocket.
Why am I going to make the choice? It's Michelle's stream.
Yeah, well, I figured why not.
I'm a bitch on our stream. I'm not a bitch on yours. I'm
Okay,
having fun.
okay.
Before you say no, you've got to make the decision on this one,
You
Michelle.
choose,
Yeah,
Michelle.
okay. This is not my Doctor Who. You have a caption? I was still waiting for her. We were killing her that Sunday. He came up with an error on Rocket Runner. I'll figure out. Someone tell the dressing. It's blind date is here. Okay, it's a toss up. Let me see, toss up. I'm saying a toss up because of his caption. Oh, oh, come on, someone else. Come on, anybody else? Any takers? Come on, jeez, this is like really okay. You're making it hard for me. Okay.
Well, you've had even though there's something from the same people, you've had several comments.
Yeah. Let's see. We have Mr. Hyde. Hey, Doc, does this tooth look infected? Then we got this one from Paul Chips sitting in the writer's room. Mr. Hyde, I think if I do, I would go with this one right here. If I want to, let's see. Okay. I would have to go with Mr. Hyde's first caption. Hey, Doc, does this tooth look infected? Because that's exactly what you can see.
Derek likes that one.
Well done, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, way to go, Mr. Hyde. Way to go. Because that one, I think, because they explain it, because whenever you look at him, let's see, pull this up. When you look at him, you can see his teeth, and you can say, does this look infected? It does. It works. Anyway, what are you doing on your stream for Friday?
We've got the companions to talk about on Friday. So, yeah, all the way back from the first ones, and we'll see how many we can fit in the time. We'll see if anybody can remember them all. That's the thing.
Oh, that would be cool. What?
Say again, John.
There's an awful lot of them, isn't there, when you think about it?
There is. I'm trying to remember how many I've got now. It was. I've got about 43 different pictures.
Okay, I want to know. Okay.
So you don't actually realise some of them. There's a couple of them where there's two companions on one as well. So you don't realise it, but in that times. Well, since 1963, there have been a hell of a lot of companions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they chopped and changed a lot more in the early years than they did in the sort of 80s, but it was there were a lot of changes. And thrown in some that are not necessarily technically companions, but you'll see on Friday.
I'm going to put up, because Mrs. Not My Doctor Who didn't see the picture. And she's good with captions. So I'm going to put it up for you, Mrs. Nogmaher and Liz, and keep it on for a while, and then you can give me your captions since you didn't.
But you see, you've picked a winner now. You can't decrown the winner.
No, I'm not. But I just wanted to give her a chance to come up with that caption, because she didn't see it long enough to come up with one. I'm not. Oh, now you say you're not good with. No, wait a minute here. Okay, I may have read that wrong. Who knows?
Well, like I say, you've already got a winner now, so you can't really dethrone him.
I'm not going to dethrone him. He says the check's in the mail. Paul Bryant says, this. So Jamie is from Scotland, Scottish Highlands. Their favorite animal for food is anyone.
Anyone. Everyone knows what he's getting on about.
I was going to say, I think we know where he's going with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say it's a drastic.
Well, Mr. Hyde says he runs away with the crown. Make sure you polish it. Make sure you don't forget to polish it. Make it shine. By the way, I watched Turn Left, Stolen Earth, and Journey's End. I would like to do a review on that, but it would be good to do it on live stream. And if Yvette would agree with it, I would like Yvette to be part of that reviewing of the episode because it has her favorite ones in it. Daleks. I
do love them. However, Michelle, I am taking a break for a couple of weeks and just concentrating on ours because I've been chock-a-block for the last 2 weeks.
No, it's no rush. No rush. I want to do it, but
I definitely give me a couple of weeks to recover, and then I'd be happy to do it with you.
I've cracked the whip, and she's got to work on our stream for a bit now.
Okay. No, that's okay. I mean, no rush.
Pulled and pulled and pulled.
No rush. No rush.
I mean, I clone myself.
She has got a task at hand for one of our streams at the minute, so she's got a lot of work to do.
Oh my God. Oh, Paul Bray has something for you, Yvette. Yvette, did you wash your hand before putting it up? No,
but I will be washing it when I take it out.
I couldn't believe Paul Bray said that. You know who knows?
I can.
You don't know where he's been.
No.
He's an old boy. He doesn't know. He doesn't get up to anything bad.
No.
He's quite like John. He keeps going over to John.
He's sweet and innocent. Yeah, but like I said, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, apart from the fact that he tries to eat everything, so he's a good boy apart from trying to eat everything.
Yeah. But like I said, Yvette, I mean, it'll be somewhere down the road. No rush. I just watched it because I wanted to watch it so bad. What in the heck are you doing? What did you just do?
I was trying to pour some milk onto Yvette's head.
There was it.
Jeez. That would be really funny if you did pour it and it did show up on there.
I would be extremely shocked if I saw some milk run down onto Yvette's head. It would be. I was going to say,
it could have happened.
Yeah, I'll have to do it on a day when she's got a leak in the roof, and I'll just pour a bit of water and you'll see it run down onto her.
Oh, by the way, your wife says that's tame for him. Paul Brandt, that comment he made.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Oh, me. Oh.
No, don't put that one up, Michelle. Don't put that one up.
Okay. I'll hide it. Wait a minute. There you go.
Whoa, that was loud in my earpieces.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I get laughing sometimes. I get laughing.
Well, I'm going to put Derek to bed, so go say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, Derek. Bye, Derek. Night.
Yes, it is. It's been a couple of hours again, Michelle.
Oh, yeah. See, it so happens when we're talking about good stuff here. We get carried away. It digresses from Doctor Who, but all's good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But like I said, it's gonna be a while for me to do that Turn Left, Stolen Earth, and Journey's End. I just watched it because I wanted to watch it because I haven't seen it. It's the one I love, one of the episodes I love. But it's like somewhere down the road. I don't want to rush it because I need to figure out what it is, and certain study about it and find certain tidbits about it.
The trouble is she's under contract to not my Doctor Who. You see, so she has to fit those in first.
I could borrow you.
I'm working on the cloning. I am. If I can clone myself, you can all have a piece of me.
Well, aren't you doing Supernatural on Saturday with Blue Bonnet?
Yes,
But she likes Supernatural.
I do.
Absolutely,
I
she
like
does.
Jensen Ackles, or rather Dean Winchester, to be exact.
I was going to say those two could probably literally just stand on the screen smiling at her, and she'd still watch it.
Like whenever I listen to Big Fish and listen to Paul McKinn, and he could just carry me away. Just his voice. He's just got one.
Oh, there's more things that Dean Winchester would do to me in my mind.
Okay. I'll leave that. But anyway, it has been fun.
Absolutely.
It really has. I do enjoy this because it's like my boyfriend. I can't talk to him about Doctor Who, and this is the only people I can talk about Doctor Who with. I mean, he knows about the show, and he also, when I told him this, and before I go, I asked him, I said, what do you think of a woman playing the Doctor since he's seen it? He says, that is a bad idea. He even agrees, since he's not a real fan, but he's seen Doctor Who before, and he agrees with me and everybody else that it was the wrong idea. So there. Paul Bryan says Jenna Coleman's smoking hot.
Absolutely.
Really? Hadn't noticed.
Oh, by the way, before we go, Allison says, I just found some full episodes of Time Tunnel on YouTube. So I'll be watching one a day for the next few weeks. And
It's a good old classic.
And she
It's a
says,
good old classic.
she says, thanks to you, John.
No.
No, thank you. No worries.
Well, anyway, it's been a pleasure.
Yes.
It just seems
Thank
like
you, Michelle.
every time we talk about Doctor Who and other things in general, that's when time gets carried away. And this time, no ghosts were killed in this episode. Of course, there were no ghosts in this episode.
Thankfully.
Oh my God. Before we go, Rocket says, Jenna Coleman, man, is the pin-up for the Blind Society. Don't ask one. I don't want to know.
Oh, Rocket, you need to change your view of what's a good-looking woman.
I don't like her either.
Anyway.
Yeah, but you're a woman.
I
Go
think
ahead.
Perry's hot.
Oh, you want to hear something before we go? I want to say something. Mention about this. I'm in this game Second Life, and I looked in their shop online, and they actually had a Perry T-shirt.
Ooh. Is
And
it got holes in it?
No, but you could see a picture of her and her shirt sounding.
That's not good for me. I couldn't buy a Perry T-shirt. I want to see it, so I need Liz to buy a Perry T-shirt so I can see the Perry picture all the time.
Yeah, maybe I'll take a picture. Maybe I'll screenshot it, just right, and send it to you. Anyway, it has been a pleasure.
Absolutely, it's been a pleasure being on again, Michelle.
Yeah, I might be doing a Sunday stream with the new YouTuber called. His name is Paul Clark. It's Clark with an E at the end of the K. I might be doing a Sunday stream just discussing everything. Also asking him what got him into Doctor Who.
Right.
About that. But if anybody wants to come on and do a live stream to discuss what got him into Doctor Who, let me know. And
Okay.
I can set that up. Because I figured that would also be good. You're the one that started that, Neil. Because we talked about what got us into Doctor Who.
Right. Oh, okay. I'll take the blame for that one.
Yeah, you'll take the blame. But anyway, thank you all for coming. Thank you all who's in the chat.
No problem.
And hopefully I'll have another live stream coming So I wish you all good night wherever you're on the world. So see ya.
Watching.
Bye bye.
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 Who did